Hi there, it's Mark from Evansville Power Yoga, and welcome to your 40-minute all-around, all-standing yoga class. This class is a class from head to toe, and it was inspired by my wonderful parents, Mom and Dad, Aldred and Dolly Golchow. Stick around. Like I said in my intro, this class is inspired by my mom and dad. The other day I got a text from my mom and it said, "Your dad and I did your gentle yoga class for the third time on our big screen TV in the living room. We enjoyed it because we get to see you and stretch with you in our AM stretch." So I know my mom and dad are getting up there in age, and some of the yoga poses that I do is challenging. And what I wanted to create for them and for you out there are poses that we're going to do just standing. You could also do it with your sneakers or your tennis shoes or your running shoes. So this is accessible for all. Let's get to it. Enjoy the class. As you could tell, I'm wearing tennis shoes. The beautiful thing about this practice or this segment is you're able to wear either shoes or you could even go on your bare feet. I find with some of my students, having tennis shoes gives a little bit of support and helps with balance. So that's why I have my tennis shoes today. This class is going to be an all-around, stretchy, feel-good class. We're gonna start with the feet and come all the way up to the top of our head. Are you ready? All right. Before we get started, let's get grounded. I want to have you take your feet to hip widths. Round your shoulders up and back. Turn your palms to face the front or the direction that your torso is at. Round your shoulders up and back and lift the top of your head up to your ceiling. Now neutralize your pelvis, so bring the front of your pelvis up. And stand here, close your eyes, and take 5 deep breaths with me. Inhale, and exhale. Inhale, and exhale it out. You could breathe in and out through your nose or your mouth, just as long as you breathe in and out. Relax your shoulders. 2 more. Breathe in and exhale it out. 1 more time. Deep breath in and exhale. Deep breath out. Open your eyes, and we'll start with our feet. When we create these poses, or when I have you create these poses, I'm going to encourage you to find your end range. Okay, I'll show different examples of what that means. Let's create ankle circles. So you have a chair here just in case you need it for balance. Come onto the tippy toe of your right foot and make circles. You go clockwise, okay? Can you make the circles really big? And what I'm going to encourage you to do is go very slowly, right? I don't want you to just spiral it around. I want you to deliberately come into those circles. So big rotation with your ankles. Let's do a few more. And change. Take your opposite foot, circles. Big, big, big circles. And your knee can also get into the motion too. Right? When you're creating this, how big can you make those rotations? right? Big, big, big circles. Few more rotations here. And stop. Let's come back to the opposite foot. Point and flex. Point your toe, flex. You could balance or you could keep your foot on the floor. So I'm going to keep my foot on the floor, point your heel or ground your heel down, lift your toes up, rock, come up as high as you can to the tippy toe. And then come back, press down through your heels, and roll tippy toe. Okay? Same thing, couple more. Go back as far as you can, right up to your tippy toe, go back heels, come forward. Let's do one more. Ground your heels and point your toes. Change, opposite foot, heel. Press your heel to the floor, lift your toes up towards your face, then round, press, lift. Come back. It's a rocking motion. Roll, come up, come down. Okay? Several more at your own pace. Rock it forward. How high can you get your tippy toe? And then come back down. Heel. Toe. Two more. Here we go. Heel. And come up. Toe. Heel up. Or toe up. Heel down. Toe down. Heel up. Great. Walk it off. We're going to come up towards our Achilles and our calves. I'm going to turn and face this direction so you can see the stance that I'm creating. Take your right foot behind you. And in this stretch, press your right heel down to the four corners of your foot is going to be planted to the floor. Take your left foot, drop your tailbone down, and begin to bend your right knee as far as it can go. Lean your chest, body forward, and stop when you notice the sensation through the back of your leg, the back of your calf. So there's a balance check for me. Go down, bring your hands to your hips or to your side, and now focus on a point directly in front. Drop your tailbone down and stretch the back side. So that's your calf, your Achilles. And I'm even taking these mini pulses. You could stay still or create a little bit of mindful pulsation is what I call it. Few more. And stand. Switch sides. Calves, okay? So for our calves, we start with our feet, we're coming up higher. Here we go. Ground and press the back foot down to the floor, all four corners. Bend your knee, maybe hinge forward slightly. Keep the whole back foot to the floor. Don't let your heel rise. Make sure it's down and press and maybe create those bends, those dips. Place your hands to your hips or to your side. Keep your chest lifted. A little bit more. Pulse. Right? I want you to make sure that it's not a bounce, but rather you're paying attention. Just here. last one. Hold it and press it up. Okay, so we're coming up. Now we're going to come into our hamstrings. I'm going to come back to the side. Take your right foot directly in front. Lift your chest. Take your hands to your thighs and press your butt back. Lift your chest up and bend through your waist. Reach your chest towards the front of your mat or towards your right foot. It's the same motion you can also do if you want these mini pulses. Press your right heel to the floor. Keep your back at a somewhat length. You want it at a length. So draw the top of your head up and move, right? Up and down. Up and down. Hold. Press your hands to your thighs. Sit your butt back. Take your right hip back. And stand. Switch. Here we go. Opposite direction. Take your opposite foot. This is my left. Press your heel down to the floor. Take your hands to your thighs. Bend. Send your left hip back. And create those movements. Chest dips towards the floor. Come on up. And then repeat. Right? Here. Easy. Make sure you press your heel to the ground. Maybe drop your chest a little lower. Keep on moving. Set your eyes to a point. Hold. And come on up. So that targets the hamstrings. We're now going to work on hamstrings and low back. Let's do this. Take your feet wide. A little wider, definitely wider than your hips. Take your hands to your hip points. Bend your knees if you have tight hamstrings. Draw your chest forward and place your hands to the floor. Drop your head. Shake your head side to side. Make this easy. Press your feet to the floor and squeeze your legs in so they don't feel like they're slipping away from you. Drop your head. Just move side to side. Easy side to side. Take a few rounds of breath. If you find that your hamstrings are tight, bend your knees. Bring your head closer towards the floor. Shake your head. Right? Sometimes in a practice or when you give your time some time to stretch, you just have to hang out and not do anything, but allow it to happen. Pull your belly in, make it tight, come up halfway, and rise, come on up. Okay? Heel toe your feet. So know that they're at hip widths apart. I'm going to turn and face so you see a side view. A basic forward bend is now what we're going to do. If you have tight hamstrings, I'm going to encourage you to bend your knees. Bend your knees, hinge from your hip creases, bow forward, and hang. Ragdoll pose. And straighten one knee, bend your opposite knee,
and walk it. Walk your forward bend. Drop your head. Just relax. This class that I'm creating for you is something you could do anytime during the day where you feel that your body's getting tight. In all these poses, the good thing is we're just going to stand. There's no poses on the floor, minimal props. Keep on walking. Now stay still. Hang into this ragdoll pose. Bend your knees, hands to your shins. Roll your way up. Roll your way up. You must keep your knees bent to come all the way up. Your vertebrae is going to stack, so it's like you're going to come up slowly and stand. Roll your shoulders up and back. Let's do a second set of that forward bend. Bend your knees. What I love about forward bends is not only that it targets my hamstrings, it my low waist and my lower back. This time we're going to take it at we're not going to move. Okay? No movement, only breathe. If you want more intensity, begin to straighten your knees. For those of you who are tight in the hamstring, keep your knees bent. Just hang. Five more breaths. Relax your jaws. Give into the gravity. Allow your back to almost, it's like a waterfall that just comes up and over your legs. Last breath here. Then roll your way up. Roll with ease. And come on up. I want to do some lunges so you can get movement and heat to our inner legs and our knees. So remember, we're working from the ground up. We start with our feet. We got our calves, hamstrings. Now we're going to work on the inner legs. Turn your toes out so they turn out to about 45 degrees. And lunge from side to side. And again, you want to be mindful because you just don't want to move this way. You want to be disciplined, and there's almost this precision. Press through your foot that's bent. Extend through that lengthy back leg, which I'm calling my back leg. So a strength through the bent knee. And can you go a little deeper? Extend through one leg, extension, flex, and bend the opposite leg. Just a couple more. And at any time, you could always use your rhythm and your speed. You don't always have to follow me. I'm showing you the positions and the alignment. I'm going to do one more on each side. All right, come up, stand. So we work the back side of our legs, the inside. Let's work on our quads. If you have balance issues, I have a chair with me, and I'm going to use it so you can see how I use the chair to help balance me. So I have a chair. Take my hand to the back of the chair. Keep one of your foot rooted. And I don't know, I'm not going to tell you the right or left. Just keep one foot grounded, bend your back foot and leg and grab a hold of it. So from the side view, this is what I'm creating. Keep your tailbone down and tucked and begin to move your kneecap behind you. Round your shoulders up and back, pull your belly in, stand tall. Bring your heel as close to your butt as you can. Couple of rounds of breath here. All right, let it go. Let's do the opposite side. I'm going to move this chair so you can see alignment. Here we go. Root your opposite foot. Grab a hold of that back ankle or the opposite ankle from the stand tall. Drop your tailbone down. Lift your chest. And take your knee back. You're going to target that big muscle group in the front of your leg, your quadriceps. And then we'll move into our hip flexors with a lunge. And a great thing about this, it's also a balance pose for those of you who don't have a chair or are using a chair. Play with, taking your hands off the lip of the chair. Just stand tall. A few more rounds here, a few more breaths. And go ahead, let it go. Let's go into those hip flexors, right? We're moving from down all the way up. Here we go. Step your left foot back. Lunge. Place your hands to your hips. We're going to do 2 sets of this. The first one, we're going to do movements and pulsations. The second one, we'll hold it still, okay? So, come to the tippy toe of your back foot. Take your hands to your hips. Draw your tailbone down towards the floor. Now begin to bend your left knee down towards the floor and come on up. This is one of those poses where you're going to create the rhythm again. I usually recommend to my students, slower the better. So moving up and down. Keep your torso lifted. Raise the top of your head up towards your ceiling. Okay, we're going to take one last deep, it's not a deep, but a bend. Hold your bend. Hold. For those of you who want to go deeper, take your knee closer to the floor. Hold. Release. Step your feet together. Take the opposite foot back. Crescent lunge. Draw your heel over your toe. Stand tall. Bend. Okay? Same thing. Another key element is make sure your knee is directly over your heel. Easy, light pulsations. You're not bouncing. It's not jarring. It's methodical. And another good word is it's purposeful. You're going to take one more deep bend, hang out here, hold. So not only are you getting a stretch through the back, the hip flexor, you're getting a quad strength builder on your opposite leg. And here we go. Come on up. Step your feet together. Walk it off. Okay, we're going to do the same thing. This time we're going to hold. Okay? Take your opposite foot forward. Instead of bending your back leg, keep your back leg lifted. Take your thumbs, place it underneath your armpits, lift your chest up. So the motion, it looks like this. You're gonna prop your chest up. And this is an opportunity for those of you who wanna go really deep, take your back leg as far as you can. Not too much longer here. Those of you who want, you can even take your arms overhead. Feel the extension all the way through the front of your body. And change. Step your feet together. Opposite side. Crescent lunge. Here we go. I'm going to have you take your thumbs underneath your armpits again. Lift your sternum up to the ceiling. Stay lifted. Out level your chin so that it is parallel with the floor. Take your hands to your waist. Maybe take it further. Take your back leg further. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. And stand. Oh, great work. Walk it off. We started in our feet. We're about halfway. Okay, what I want you to do now is we're going to work on the hips. Take your hands to your waist. You're just going to create just movements with your hip. It's like if you had a hula hoop. Okay? You know, for some people, there is some coordination because I'll have people do this. There's lots of hip movements, right? It's like a hula dancer. Take your butt back, roll your hips, roll. Opposite direction. Roll your hips. I feel like I'm a dancer. Not a very good one. Not like my brother Jeffrey. My brother Jeffrey is a ballroom dancer, and he's great with Latin dances, and he could move his hips. So with me, I don't think I got that gene. I think I'm above average in moving the hips around, but not as good as my brother. All right. Enough hip movements. Here we go. So, working up, let's work through the sides of our body. Interlace your hands. Take your palms directly in front. Take your arms overhead. If this is difficult for your shoulders, you could do it one arm at a time. For example, what we're going to do is we're going to do a lateral side bend. Press your hands overhead. Move your hips to one side. So my left hip is going to the left. If this is difficult for your shoulders, take your one arm down by your leg. Okay? So create this. You choose. The goal is to plant down through, for me, it's my left foot. Left foot down. Raise your left arm up and lift through the side of your body. Hold. Can you go deeper? Here we go. A little bit more. Accentuate. Breathe in. Deepen. Accentuate deeper. Stretch your arm further. Reach and come on up. Oh. Roll your shoulders up and back. Let's do the opposite side. Whatever side you're on, let's create that. Raise your opposite arm. Press your hip. This is my right. I'm going to press my right hip to the side. Ground your feet. You know, it's different doing it with tennis shoes or sneakers. I actually enjoy it for support sometimes. I feel some sort of ankle support. Extend through your arm. Can you go deeper? And come on up. We're going to do some rotations. This is one thing that it's different. I'm sure you've seen this exercise people do where they just swing their arms. It's going to be similar to it, except I'm not going to have you move. So if you take a look at my knees, they're twisting, and it could cause, some it may not be good for it. Really, for me, it's not good for my knees to do it this way. What I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you keep your hips neutral. They're going to stay directly in front. I create almost like ballerina hands or a circle. And what I'm going to do is just move from side to side. You notice, though, my hips and my legs are staying pretty straight. They're still directed at you, right? They're not twisting from side to side, but rather they're staying stationary. So I want you to create this, just this rotating spinal twist. Just twisting, just getting some movement through your obliques, your spinal muscles. There's a couple more. And all right, you're done. Shake it off. We're coming up. We're going to do a standing back bend. Everything I want you to do, so we're coming up, everything is going to be from your chest. Lift your chest up. We did the thumbs underneath the armpits. That helps me out. Tuck your root your feet down, draw your tailbone in, and support your low back with your knuckles or your hands. Press your hips forward and lift your chest up towards your ceiling. Look up and show your throat to your ceiling. Lift up, breathe. The key is not to bend your knees and look back. It's more of keep neutral. Look up. Bring your shoulder blades back. And release. For this one, right, we started on the feet. We're coming all the way up. This is where you need a strap, a towel, a necktie, a belt. Because now we're going to work on the shoulders. Okay? So take your strap or your whatever you're going to use, interlace them behind you. I prefer taking my arms and hands a little wider than my hips. It looks like this. Roll your shoulders up and back. Okay? So and pull the strap apart and lift your arms up. Draw your tailbone down. Inhale, lift your chest up to the ceiling. Lift your arms up as high as you can. Look up and exhale, relax. Let's do that again. It's inhale, make it big, open, look up, shoulder blades draw in towards your spine, and relax. Let's do 2 more. No, let's do 3 more. Total of 5. Here we go. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Last one. Here we go. Open, 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 and relax. Round your shoulders up and back. Moving up, moving up. Let's work on our triceps. Take your left arm up. Bend your left elbow. Grab a hold of that left elbow and pull it back. Stand tall. So tricep stretch. I told you this class is dedicated to my parents. They've done so much for me from day one, and I love them, and I miss them. So, Mom and Dad, I miss you. This YouTube class is for you. Love you a lot. All right. Release. Let's do the opposite side. You know, we create mindful movements with our bodies. Or I do. When I teach my students, it's about paying attention to your breath, paying attention to the stretch that's happening. And one more breath. And release. Let's do a few shoulder shrugs. Up and over, up and over, up and over. Right? We're almost done. We start with the feet. Now we're doing shoulders, up and back. And with the shoulders, let's do just 10 windmill back windmills. A big rotation, getting movement, nothing too grand. I mean, this is a good thing just to get some lubrication through the joints. And do the opposite side. It's like you're doing a, what do you call it? A back straight. So you're going back. I don't know if you can hear that bone pop because it's near the microphone. A couple more. Next stretch. Take your right hand up to the ceiling, then bend your right elbow. Take your hand to your left ear, and next stretch. Easy. Now, what I want you to do is take your left hand and left shoulder, drop it to the floor. It's make your left shoulder heavy. Prop your head up. Let's do the opposite side. Next stretch. What a great class. We started with our feet. We came up, touched a lot of the major muscle groups. All right, let it go. Last pose, from ground all the way up. Press your feet to the floor, squeeze your legs in. Pull your belly button into your spine, neutralize. Take your arms overhead. This is, in yoga, mountain pose. Stretch your arms all the way up as high as you can. Keep your shoulders down, okay? Avoid riding them up. Take it down. So this is our last posture. Take it up, 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 as high as you can. And release. Let's do one more time. Take your arms overhead. This time, take your arms out just a little wider. It makes like the letter, for some of you, I look like a Y, the letter Y, right? It's like Sesame Street. You know, this class is brought to you by the letter I and letter Y. And I don't know what number. We'll say the number 5, because I like the number 5. I was born on the 5th of February, that's why. So take it out, breathe, open your chest, lift your sternum up to the ceiling. Last stretch. 3, 2, 1. Oh, and release. Shake it
out. Wiggle it out. Shoulders up and back. We're going to end this session the same way we began. Turn your shoulders up and back. Turn your palms to face the front. Close your eyes. Breathe in and out. Inhale and exhale. Breathe it in and breathe it out. Breathe in and out. Open your eyes. Oh, I don't know about you, but I feel really open. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you haven't subscribed to EPY Empowered YouTube channel, now's the time to do it. Thank you so much, and I love you, Mom and Dad. Bye.